What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here, back again with another 5 minutes or less review. And about 5 minutes without any fans or air conditioning on is all I can stand, so I'm going to get right to it. That's why I'm in a different part of my house. Yes, even more movies here. But this is an interesting one I picked up from VCI. I was going to do it as a double feature, but I decided to do them one at a time. I threw this one in the other night. I was just very curious, and I had a great time with it, all by myself, just relaxing, watching a brainless Mexican horror movie. When I mean brainless, I mean they're taking people's brains out, switching them with monkey brains. So the film tonight, it's on this double feature, okay? It's the English name is The Body Snatcher, Ladron de Cadaveres. And this stars Columba Dominguez. I think she's probably the biggest star. Crocs Alvarado and Wolf Ravinskis. Anyway, both of those gentlemen were in a number of these wrestling movies. Now, I just randomly picked this one, but apparently I picked kind of a minor milestone in Mexican horror. This came out in, I believe, 1957. 80 minutes long, black and white. This movie apparently jump-started Mexican horror in the 50s, and also the combination of wrestling and horror, as many of you know. The movies about the luchadores, El Santo and Blue Demon, they became very popular in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and perhaps beyond, almost like legendary crime-fighting movie stars, often masked, which is interesting in this film because this is kind of like a take on the Frankenstein's monster movie. So once the surgery is completed, if you put a wrestling mask on, nobody knows the difference. So that's actually what happens. But essentially, you have a police officer and a wrestler sort of teaming up. The wrestler's going to go undercover to find out why all these wrestlers are being killed off. And there's essentially a mad scientist transplanting brains. I mean, there's an opening scene in a cemetery with probably a fake background. It's pretty good, and he does have a kind of a dim-witted assistant, as is often the case. But then this film is also different, very different, because it is a Mexican film, and it is centered in the world of professional wrestling. A lot of the action takes place in gyms and in arenas rather than castles and so forth. So it doesn't have that kind of gothic feel, but it doesn't really have a chance to because it's focused on the wrestling. So there's a lot of wrestlers in this, and there's one guy named El Tigre who apparently had a series of films after this, and then he became more of a supporting player in the Blue Demon and El Santo movies. But the movie will just stop and have a wrestling match a few times. And then the gym is pretty cool. You see all the old school exercises they're doing. And then they have some foreign fighters there, which is pretty cool. So there's guys doing judo, and then the one guy challenges a judo guy. So the fighting is a little different. It was kind of cool to see them doing like different submission holds on each other and stuff. But anyway, this mad scientist, he has a disguise that he wears. So he's like mingling amongst everybody. They think he's an annoying old man, okay? And he's basically, he comes up with these sort of complicated plans to like kidnap people, to draw their blood, to do all kinds of experiments. And eventually one of the main characters is turned into like a Frankenstein's monster. But like I said, they throw a wrestling mask on him, put him in the arena, and nobody knows the difference. He's kicking butt. And eventually something goes wrong, as you can imagine. Now, the guy who plays the wrestler, I think that's Wolf Ravinskis, he's apparently a bit of a horn dog. So anytime he walks in a room and there's a secretary, he's like right there. So he eventually begins a relationship with this woman played by Columba Dominguez. And what I like about this, you watch the old movies from the 50s, and this film in a way reminded me of the viewing experience of watching these films, which I reviewed on the channel. You watch the American movies from the 50s, everybody has these very particular accents from the time. Well, in this film, everyone is so, well-dressed, well-mannered, it's always like, con permiso, and she even tells him, hey, I just met you and you're a man. I'm not going to be in a room alone with you. So it's just kind of a cool world to be introduced to, the world of the 1950s Mexico, and then also just the world of the professional wrestling in Mexico. So really interesting film. Looking forward to watching the next one, El Escapulario. Don't know anything about that, but have you guys heard of this? would you be interested in picking this up? Go ahead and check out the VCI website. Who's your favorite luchador? El Santo, Blue Demon, El Tigre? You guys let me know in the comments below. All right, later. Thanks. Oh, wait. Gotta show my mask off. This mask is actually older than Mr. Dan, believe it or not. My mom brought that back from Mexico. All right, guys. I'll see you later.